My whole life I've done drawings and paintings. As a teenager, I mainly focused on portraiture. So around 16, 17, I started to take portraiture quite serious and moving more towards hyperrealism on my own. By the time I was about 19, 20, I went to college for fine arts. There I studied at the University of Las Vegas, where I got my bachelor's degree of fine arts in drawing and painting. Right after, I went and studied at the Academy of Florence of Arts, and since then, I've just continued to develop my skills. The main principle in my work that I find that is most important is quality. When I approach a work, I find that quality is the thing that I focus on most, just for the fact that I can take a very average and ordinary or sometimes even dull object and make it quite extraordinary. By putting emphasis on such simplicity, I can find beauty in the simplest things. One of my youngest memories as an artist and my first introductions to art was when I was around probably 6 years old. My mom took me to this fair where they were selling tons of prints of artworks, and there I was told I could buy anything. So I picked out Starry Night from Van Gogh. I used to sit there and stare at that painting for 5 to 6 hours just at a time, just looking at every brushstroke and every color. This would be my first introduction into art and what art can be and the influences it can have on you and the emotions that can be captured within a single brushstroke. Hi, my name is Mason Rempfer. I'm an artist here in Dubai. I originally come from Las Vegas. As a multidisciplinary artist, I use many different tools inside my studio, from oil painting to color pencil work, charcoal. But in this current series, I'm focused on watercolor. With watercolor, I found that I could achieve the highest amount of quality in the details in my process. So I switched over to learn this just about last year and have been working about 8 to 12-hour days just to hone my skills within watercolor for these miniatures. As an artist, some of the most important things for me are my pigments. For me, pigments help me achieve the vivid works that reflect real life and the world around us. Pigments are probably my lifeline as an artist for creating the body of my work. One of the things that I found most interesting when I moved to the UAE was the new objects, the new foods, animals, insects. It just kind of inspired me to create this series. I originally started off with only 12 little studies that were roughly around the size of a dirham for a group show last summer. When I approached the series, I had this grand vision. I wanted to fill a gallery with as many of these little works that captured the UAE in small little moments. And these moments could range from simple objects to memories to foods and even to modern day consumerism. I love the idea that a culture can't be written about. A culture can't be put into words and be just one thing. It is the collective of animals, of fruits, and everyday occurrences. The biggest challenge of this series was learning how to paint the size of the dirham. With each of these individual works, I wanted to focus on small little moments in these small little paintings. With each one, they challenged me in new ways with having to innovate and create new techniques with every single painting. What is the next step for Little Archives and the Emirates series? For me, when I was interviewing with each of these individual people, there was stories that were far more precious to me than just simple objects and memories. There were people, and the way that I see this project going on in the future is I would like to capture 50 to 80 individual people from across the Emirates that are no longer with us anymore. and the individual stories behind them, the objects that they left behind. This is how I kind of see the future growth of this series, from found objects to now people and memories. What I hope to achieve with this individual series is I hope it lets people to stop and think and reminiscence about their past, about a good memory, and about the beauty that exists around us in the everyday life. That beauty doesn't exist far. It exists within our home, in our backyards, within food, objects, and shared memories with others. One of my favorite pieces in the series would be the little seahorse that I painted. This piece is quite special to me because when I was first visiting Dubai back in the early 2020, I would think, I went and got my diving certificate so I could go do scuba diving. So while I was diving out in Fujairah, my very first dive, I got to see this tiny little seahorse. What was so special for me about that individual seahorse was it brought me back to a memory back when I was a kid. We used to have this giant aquarium just full of seahorses, and I would take care of them every day, come home from school and just sit there and watch them. If I had advice for myself as an artist, I would kind of go back and tell myself to start to trust your gut a little bit more. The thing about an artist is we have a lot of criticism through the outside world to the point where we second guess ourselves. The hardest part is always pushing past that and starting to trust ourselves and what is good, when the painting is enough, and what we want to go for.